And probably the biggest name on the list, maybe arguably, coming in at number 10 for Scout the Statline 1 through 10 shortstops of 2024 is Sebastian Walcott at number 10. Walcott ranks 51st overall in the player rater. His overall peak projections coming in with a 111.6 WRC plus, 258 BA, 325 on base percentage, 449 slug, 20 home runs, 17 stolen bases with a 9% walk rate and a 24% strikeout rate. Player comp, David Wright. That's a really nice name to be paired next to. Doc Walcott is, number 1 overall for James Anderson at RotoWire. A lot of us in the industry really like him. We talked a little bit about the comparison to De Vries. What are your thoughts overall on Walcott?
Bro, we've missed out on the most fun part. We haven't been doing the player comps. They're so ridiculous sometimes.
So most of them are like, okay, so Vargas was Ryan Braun. Holy
Yeah,
crap.
man, Leo De Vries, LDV, he's got Paul Goldschmidt. That's ridiculous.
Shane Mack for Emerson. I don't even know who Shane Mack is. Mookie Betts for Arias. Yikes. Talk about expectations.
The comps are for fun, folks. Don't worry about them. Jordan Lawlar. Did you say Bobby Bonds?
No, I didn't say Bonds, but it was probably end of 2023 when like the top 5 guys for STS. It was like Mark McGwire, Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle. And it was like, oh, we're in for a golden age of Major League Baseball. Mark McGwire. It was like, yes, I can't wait.
It's a fun feature, Some people take that seriously. Don't do comps. It's like, I'm going to do more comps actually.
I'm only going to do comps actually.
Yeah. I comp a lot. So yeah, it's Sebastian Walcott. This is a guy I need to bump up my ranks. He's almost a geezer. He's actually finally about to turn 19 years old. Not quite there yet. That's sarcasm, folks, for those at home. But yeah, I mean, you actually look at his AA contact rate. It actually improves substantially, and so I've been pretty hard on the kid. I don't a 30% K rate at AA threw me off, but
5 games though, right?
Yeah, sorry. And like beyond that, I should say that like the year before, 31%. It wasn't like a standalone situation, but I think I did overlook. I figured he was 19 turning 20, which doesn't it sounds like it's kind of the same thing, but it's a little different, right? You're playing as like a real like young 18-year-old in AA. That's insane.
Yeah,
I should really just basically throw it all out and just look only for the good, really, right? And so, yeah, we'll see what happens. His walk rate is actually better than maybe you think it is. I think it was among these other leagues that he played in, complex, IA. The K rates it is real, and 6'4" is a fun size, but it gets on that verge of, is the strike zone going to be too big for him? Will he be able to handle it? But it's also, you can look at it on the other side of things. 6'4" is kind of that like upper echelon of like when the really like that actually could be an ideal height in terms of like power bats getting the most out of their their leverage. And so I'm excited to see what happens next year. Here's the thing, like I've been low on Walcott, just kind of wanting to see more, whereas we're seeing RotoWire go number 1 overall prospect. We're seeing a lot of guys, I think most people have them in their top 20, a lot of guys have them in their top 10. I guess got them way back there because I'm just terrified of DSL guys and how raw they are. But I like the Rangers. Like I'm kind of like a quasi Rangers fan. I just like certain teams, and so I'm rooting for the guy. And from what I understand, he actually could stick at shortstop. That's valuable too. So Sebastian Walcott, it's almost boring to talk. It's really weird for me to talk about him because even when like though I've been low on him, no one cares because the rest of the industry is high on him. And so there's like, okay, I like you, Doc, but I'm just gonna ignore that one part. And so me hyping him up now feels almost redundant. It's like
sure.
So I would just say that although it's cool he's doing this, he's at AA as a pretty young guy. Let's just stay tuned here. Let me take a look real quick before I pass it off to you. Yeah, again, caught stealing. That's like again the kind of the gray area. 26-8. It's like it's not definitive. That was at high A too. So he's gonna find out this year at a bigger sample size. He only played. I keep saying he's been at high A like his season, but 5 games. But yeah, hopefully if he starts at AA, this is going to be it, really, in terms of, this is actually it. This is where you're going to hear something new, maybe, with Sebastian Walcott. If he crushes AA off the top, it's going to be like, oh, we actually should consider him like a universal top 10 prospect. That shouldn't be bold anymore, because now
Yes.
he's a 19-year-old crushing AA. That's like, he's serious. He's a serious man. What could happen is if he has a 35% K rate, and they're like, oh gosh, maybe they even have to put him back down to high A or something. Like, or maybe he just takes a while to get out of that slump or learn the level as a young man at AA and upper minors with very different stuff he's going to be seeing. If that happens, I'm not out. Yeah, but it's like, that's your buy. I think right now is the worst possible time you could ever buy Sebastian Walcott, basically.
Yes.
And so, yeah,
Because he'll be unbuyable if he explodes at AA, right?
yeah.
Like,
I would consider selling him absolutely right now if I owned him. But yeah, if you're like, dang, if you're like me and you're like, oh, I thought he would have, like, thought he was older. I thought he was just, because if you're older with those kind of K rates, it's less likely you're gonna figure it out, because the hit tool is hard to teach. But age to level is important. So we'll see what happens, man. This is going to be a massive year for the kid.
yeah, again, kind of leaning back on compare these guys to other guys in the past. I have Ronald Acuna's page pulled up right now, and Acuna never flashed the same kind of issues with the strikeout. But I think we have the potential for a superstar, maybe an Acuna, maybe in a Tatis profile. I think there's also the chance of a Luis Robert, where you get some power, some speed, right? Some big time swing and miss question marks. I think with Walcott, we have an absolute major leaguer based off just the immense skills he's shown. But I had issues in 2023 with that strikeout rate in the season, 31%, if I remember correctly, in his debut season. And it was like, okay, yeah, he had a great May and June, but you strike out that much, that young, it hurts. And like, the superstars usually don't ever show that profile. They usually break down the door and are off and running. So I'm actually on board with the, sell him if you can. But in our 30 man, I have him in one of the leagues, and it's like, I'm kind of just hoping for an explosion and selling him for a king's ransom.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, you look at his Fangraph scouting grade there. He's only got a 45 run grade.
That's interesting.
So I'm wondering if they've timed him or something. So he might, if he's not that fast, that's also interesting. They're not down on him. They're saying, their little TLDR was, if you want to find the next Fernando Tatis Jr., this is your bet. This is your guy. And that kind of tracks. You're looking at Tatis actually has never really had good contact numbers, which is,
Really?
interesting. Yeah, no, like he's had, his 2019 he had sub 70 contact percentage. 2021, same deal. Even then, like his best, like he's never been above 74% contact, which is interesting, right? Because obviously he's had some amazing seasons, but that just shows you that you can make it work with low contact percentages, and you just need to have other things going on, like tremendous power, and that's something you're going to see. But it is worth noting that, yeah, maybe we shouldn't expect I think there's some people who think maybe Walcott's the next Ellie De La Cruz.
Sure.
And what I would say from that scouting grade, I don't think Ellie ever got a 45 run. I think they knew better. So I'm wondering if, and maybe maybe he just has maybe he'll get that technique going. I'm not seeing that with the amount of times he's being caught stolen at lower levels. So maybe instead of 20 stolen bases, you're looking more like maybe he does like 10 stolen bases or something like that. Hit 40 home runs, who cares? But
Yeah, hit 250, 40 home runs, 30 stolen bases. All is forgiven.